Welcome to COB, Conversations on the Business of Brands with Sudeep Chawla and Sharvan Raghavan.
So Sharan, what is the topic for today?
My turn today, is it?
Oh, of course. And I'm confused because I don't have any notes from your end.
That's because it's a quiz for you.
Oh, okay. Quiz. Why?
So, the whole objective of this show, COB, is to simplify jargon. And as much as we keep saying we need to simplify the language we use in marketing, there's always something or the other that just creeps into your everyday language. And when people start their careers, this can be very intimidating because all the acronyms and the jargon we use may not be completely understandable at the beginning. So, on behalf of the audience, I will call out certain terms and you can explain what they mean. And it's also a way to check how up to speed you are, and doing this on the go will be perfect.
Excellent. So I see that you've pulled a fast one on me. I'll get you some other time. But at the core of it, I like the idea because you're trying to simplify it for our listeners. So I'm all for that. So let's go back and forth. Yeah, we can give each other terms and we can hopefully simplify it for the audiences. So
Fair enough.
we'll start with that.
Yes, please.
Okay.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll give you an easy one.
Okay.
Something that we've used a lot of times. I'm sure many people know it, but it's always great to start with the basics. What is market share?
Market share is a key indicator of a company's competitiveness. It measures the company's sales as a percentage of the total industry sales. So if you want to put it simply, if you look at a cake, a large cake, and figuring out what biggest slice of it your company owns is your market share. Now, if we were to demonstrate with an example, you'd say, let's say energy drinks, for example. And the total sale of energy drinks in India is about 5,000 crores. Just saying. And if your business and if your brand is selling for 500 crores annually, then your share of the market, that is your market share, is 10%, which is 500 on 5,000. So the number basically tells you, and as entrepreneurs, more importantly, your investors, how successful your brand is when compared to competition.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
Okay. I'll follow the lead. I'll start simple as well. What exactly is numeric distribution?
Okay. Excellent. So, numeric distribution is a key indicator that tells you how widely your product is available for the consumers. Right. So therefore, let's stick to the same example of energy drinks. So if energy drinks are available across 1,000 outlets in the country, and if your brand is available in 100 outlets, then you have 10%, 100 divided by 1,000, which is 10% numeric distribution.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it just indicates, how easy is it for consumers to find your product once you've generated demand. Yeah. So let's move to the next level of metrics. Now we have spoken about numeric distribution, or as it is called ND. Let's talk about weighted distribution.
W. What it does is it considers the sales volume and or the value, depending on how you want to look at it, from each store that you're distributed in. For example, if your energy drink is sold in larger, high throughput stores, then very likely that your weighted distribution is higher than your numeric distribution. So it takes into account the amount of the contribution the stores that are distributed in makes to the category.
Correct.
It's more about the quality of your distribution.
Right, let's do it with an example. In the first example, Sharan, you said the category sale is 1,000 crores. Brand sells 100 crore. In the second example, I said category is present in 1,000 stores. Your brand is present in 100 stores. Now, suppose these 100 stores contribute almost about 500 crores to the category. So these are just 10% stores, but contribute 50% of the value. Chosen your outlets very well, or they might commend you for your choice and execution.
Investors commending you. All right. So, what is SAH?
Okay, we are down to now acronyms. Okay. SAH is share amongst handlers. And now share amongst handlers is very simply if your product is available at a particular set of outlets, how much share do you command in that particular outlet is called share amongst handlers. Yeah.
Okay.
For example, let's go through the same set of numbers. 1,000 crore category, 100 crore sales, 1,000 sale distribution for the category, 100 store distribution for you. And these 100 stores contribute 500 crores to the particular category. Now, these 100 stores give you 100 crore sales. And these 100 stores give 500 crore sales to the category. So, within these stores, your market share is 100 divided by 500, which is your sale divided by the category sale. Therefore, you have a share amongst handlers of 20% against a market share of 10%, which means that wherever you are stocked or you're stocked, you're able to extract much more business. And so therefore, not only are you stocked at larger outlets, you're also able to extract better business out of them. Right.
And it also tells you if you expand your distribution, how much more business
can you get. So you can keep expanding this 20% market share amongst handlers, and it can ultimately become a 20% market share. Okay, excellent.
Perfect.
So now let's go a bit wider. What is household penetration?
So far we were looking at most of the terms we use in the Nielsen retail management or RMS reports is what we're looking at. So you're not jumping to panel reports. Okay. So it's something that's most important for products that are consumed at home, in-home consumption. So this measures how many households are buying your product. As simple as that. If 200 out of every 1,000 regularly purchase your energy drink, then your household penetration is 20%. It's a pretty simple calculation. How they arrive at it is pretty complicated, but as marketers, we need to understand what is a percentage of household penetration. If it's 200 out of 1,000 households in India are consuming your product at home, then you have a 20% household penetration. Now, it is also a very, very good indicator about your reach. Think how many households, how many consumers are you reaching in-house? And that is a great, as important a measure as market share for these brands. So that tells you how many people you're reaching. Now that you started on panel, my turn, I want to stick to panel. So what exactly are purchase occasions?
Okay. As the name indicates, it is very simply the number of times the shoppers went to the market to buy your product. So it's a simply purchase occasions. So how many times the shopper made the decision to purchase you after going on a trip to purchase. Yeah. So for example, you are selling an energy drink. You sell a pack of 6 and you observe that on an average, a consumer makes it to the shop to buy you about 12 times a year. So therefore you have 12 purchase occasions spread over a year when the consumer came and bought you. Right? So what it does is when you study each purchase occasion, the purchase occasion gives you an opportunity to study how much are you selling in every time a shopper makes it to the shop. Right? Which means, are you selling a single energy drink? Are they buying a case of 6, case of 12, etc.? Which helps you judge not only what is the throughput per purchase occasion, but also what are your current best-selling SKUs and what potentially could be great SKUs to launch to optimize the throughput in every purchase occasion. Yeah.
Perfect.
So now linked to that, Sharan, and something that people kind of might get confused with, what is frequency of purchase?
This is something a lot of marketers get confused with as well, right? Because as per English language, it sounds very close to purchase occasions, and therefore it's pretty easy to get mixed up. So as per panel, the frequency is set up as frequency for the year. That's the thumb rule definition for frequency of purchase by the panel report. Now, it means of the 12 months in the year, how many months have households bought your product, your brand is the measure. For example, let's stick to the same. You said there were 12 purchase occasions. Now, if there are 12 purchase occasions for the energy drink, but the frequency is only 5, it means all these 12 purchase occasions happened within a 5-month period. They don't have to be a continuous 5 months period, but 5 months in the year is when you were bought. So that gives you further insight into understanding your customers' consumption habits as well as seasonality for certain categories. So this is a beautiful measure, but it's important even for seasoned marketers to know the difference between purchase occasions and frequency of purchase.
Okay.
Right. Now, I got one for you.
If I didn't
SOB.
know you better, I would possibly say you are swearing at me. But of course, it is source of business, right? Very simply to say, if you have 100 rupees sale, or as we said, 100 crores of sale for an energy drink, you should know where is it coming from, who is contributing to it, right? And who, ideally, you would have to give them some name. So it is either non-drinkers of energy drink who you are getting into the category, or it could be consumers of other brand who have now started preferring you or trying you. So therefore it is a competitive switch, right? It could also be somebody who was consuming some energy drink equivalent and now they have upgraded to you. So it could be many of these behaviors, but you need to know where is this 100 crores coming from, who contributes the biggest chunk of this 100 crores, and that becomes then your core segment. Right? Okay. Now, we've done panel. We've done a little bit of that. Now let's go towards brand tracking, brand measurements. So let me give you Tom and SPONT.
You heard of Tom and Jerry. This is Tom and SPONT in marketing, right? And I see how you put two together for me. Right. Tom stands for top of mind recall. So when people are asked about your category, and if they mention your brand first, it is counted as a top of mind recall. Now, if they talk to 100 consumers and 10 of them name your brand as being as the first brand that they recall from the category, then you have a 10% Tom score. That is 10% of your consumers, of respondents to the survey, have recalled your brand first. Now, it basically indicates strong brand recall, which is closely associated with preference in the category. That's Tom. Now, SPONT is just short form for spontaneous awareness. It refers to the other brands consumers recall when they ask about the category. Not the first brand, but the rest of the set of brands without being prompted or aided by any other tools. So basically, spontaneously recalling a set of brands in the category. So if they ask about energy drinks and people say Red Bull, Sting, Monster, that means, okay, the unaided recall is of 3 brands. The Tom score is for Red Bull. Now, the spontaneous awareness for Sting and Monster too. Now, it is slightly broader than Tom. SPONT is broader than Tom. And for many brands, this is, while not being the first to be recalled, it's still a considerable advantage to be recalled without being prompted about a brand.
And when you're a new brand, you'll be very happy to be in the SPONT set. And slowly but steadily, you would want to keep increasing your Tom score.
Perfect. All right. Last one. We've heard of PDA. What is PDH?
So definitely, since you mentioned it is not a public display, this is purchase decision hierarchy. So this is something that I think every
Right.
marketer tries to, first understand and then articulate when they develop empathy with their consumers. So this is very simply the process or the estimated process that a consumer follows to make decisions in your particular category. Yeah. And so therefore, the reason you want to know this is that you want to see what particular stages are considered by consumer before they land up on a brand in your category, and hence where could you intervene to try and shift consumers preference towards your brand.
Absolutely. It also gives you a sense of how to position your brand.
A very interesting example that I've seen is for example for Pepsi. They look at purchase decision hierarchy and they realize that one, they want to create Tom and SPONT by doing good advertising, har ghoont mein swag hai, etc. But they also understand that a lot of the consumption happens out and about. And so therefore, if your brand isn't available or is it not salient at the point of consumption, you might lose market share. So therefore, what you will see is when they discovered that in the purchase decision hierarchy, what is available and what is salient at the point of buying becomes very critical. So there are two big interventions that you see from them. Number one, at most canteens, you will find samosa tastes best with Pepsi. Bread pakoda tastes best with Pepsi. Now, this has nothing to do with swag. Yeah. Number two, more often than not, you will find consumption shots of Pepsi being pasted there. And it might not have any celebrity. Yeah. So therefore, I see that they have understood their purchase decision hierarchy and how to create preference at each point very well. And that is where you don't see them plastering just their tagline everywhere. They've understood how to, ramp up their game at every point in purchase decision hierarchy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even distribution and your point of sale merchandise can influence your purchase decision hierarchy or rather cater to it. So it could help you in targeting your market. It could help in creating your next innovation. So that's understanding how consumers decide in making a purchase in the category is what PDH is. Perfect. And that's a wrap on today's enlightening episode and our efforts at busting a few marketing jargons.
We would have done it for some of our listeners. And if there are more such jargon that you hear on a day-to-day basis, please feel free to write it down to us in the comments, and we'll try and demystify them for you.
Thank you for listening to COB, Conversations on the Business of Brands with Sudeep Chawla and Sharan and Sudeep. Subscribe and learn more at cobcast.net. That's COBBCAST.net.